Good day and welcome back. This is the next installment in the GT-40 Mark II Ford car build, and we're learning as we're going. Again, not really getting very far very fast, not getting as much time in the shop as I would like to do, but I'm also sort of just taking my time and sort of cruising through what I have to do. When we last left, we were dealing with putting the exhaust pieces onto the engine, and then the next step was sort of install it into the car and then move forward. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what I got done. So putting the engine in place, it actually doesn't look too terrible. But then I go looking back at like pictures of the actual engine, and we see something like this right here. And it looks better. It looks more complex. You know, the wires, the cabling, and things like that. They just give it more interest. They make it look more quote-unquote real. So I figured I wanted to try it. So I decided to go back. I'd seen pictures of this with like red cables in there. And I go in, I go through, and I'm using this really fine, I think it's like 28 gauge electronics wire. And that's what I'm doing to run it from, I used my drill, and I drilled small holes in the distributor, and then went ahead and ran these from on both sides, you know, from to the right and the left. Took the wires back to the top of the, I guess, distributor cap, and then, you know, that gave it something of a really cool look. At least it gave it more interest, right? It looked less plain, I guess. Again, not being a car guy, but it sort of looked better to me. Then I looked at this. I'd sent the cables to the wrong spot. I took them above, I guess that's the manifold or whatever, rather than below. So I had to go back and pull them off. In the process of doing so, I ended up taking the bundle of snakes off too, which actually will play into be a benefit later on. So I went back and then reran the wires to spots in where the spark plugs actually live, and it just looks much better. I do run into a small problem with it a little bit later on. I'll go into that, but I'll figure that out when I get there. So I go ahead and I put the bundle of snakes back in and just sort of rest it back in, and I like the look of it. I think it looks a little bit better. And then I start looking at the way that is, and then, you know, I'm like, well, we really need to look at that exhaust. And so I started using my oil shadings to give us some of the discoloration. You can see it there where each of the pipes turn, and it's more blatant right there where all of the pipes come together. But at each of the pipes where they turn, there's a little bit of shading and discoloration, which is really what I was going for. I think it gives it a more interesting look, and overall I think the whole area is looking better. So now on to the interior of the cockpit and the chairs. Pay attention, folks, the chairs are not the same. B2 is not the same thing as B3. I didn't notice that. We'll get to that in a second. Basically just take them, I cut them off, and, you know, went ahead, gave them a base coat of black, so I could then go back and then do the detailing, because each one of these has these little silver rings at each one of those depressions. So we just went back and did that. Yeah, some of the dots are a little bit not really nice, but they are what they are. And then you go to do the seat belts, and the seat belts are this sticky cloth. The cloth looks really cool, but the sticky is a real pain to get through those clasps. Note, only one of the seats get one of these, and they are different, so they don't match the same. Once I got that done, I got it dropped into the actual cockpit area, and then I went ahead and test fit the bulkhead in place, and that's what we're looking at here. With that in place, I went ahead and put the details on there, and then I did the cockpit. I did the few transfers that go for the instrument panel. I did cover each of those with Ard Coat. It probably is totally unnecessary, but it made me feel better. And then at that point, this is where I am. I've got the car sorted to this point right now, and that's about as far as I can go this week. Again, slow work, but this is where we are. Okay, so yeah, we didn't really get very far, but it's what I could get done this week. Um, I was actually, like I said, I got distracted when I got to working on the exhaust, and I really kind of wanted to give it a little more life. I kind of wanted to give the engine a little more pop. I have no idea if I'm even going to display this thing with the hood open or not, so that all could be sort of moot. But we'll find out when we go to put the thing together. This is entertaining. It's a sort of creative build. Yeah, the thing I really wanted to sort of point out is the chairs, right? So the two chairs here, right? This one and this one. This little cutout fits over that bump. That's what makes those two chairs unique, and they don't look that way. At least for any like me, a chair's a chair. I didn't really realize the seat was going to be different, so of course I put the seat belts on the wrong one until I went to go put it in, and then I realized it wasn't going, and then I saw the little cutout on the back of the seat. So yeah, just pay attention. Like I said, the seat belts, a bit of a pain in the butt. They're sort of clever, but they're also kind of annoying because of the sticky back on the cloth. With and I wonder how much of this detail is going to really show and matter with, with the doors closed, because the doors don't open. The doors closed and everything else shut. I made the comment that it really didn't matter that I put art code over top of the dials either, for the same reason. I don't think you're going to see any of that stuff, but it is what it is. So we're doing it, and I'm sort of investigating my way through it. I do apologize that I didn't have much videoed for that. It was more taking pictures because I was really trying to figure the stuff out as I went. And it was just look and figure in, does this work and does that work? But hopefully next time I have a little more actual video for my video. And we'll see where we are. So with that said, I will thank you very much for watching. Again, anybody has any suggestions, hints, please feel free. I'm kind of hoping the next step should be the wheels and getting the body, at least to the point where the body's ready to go on. And I think at that point, it's sort of put it in place to get the transfers on. Then all the finishing up the body, try to make the body look cool. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how far we get this week. With that said, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Again, feel free to put suggestions or what down below. And until next time, happy modeling.